occasionally, a small company may have progressed beyond the phase 1 feasibility studies of technical merit. In these cases, the company's research may be suitable for a phase 2 award. Do you believe that under these circumstances, the company should be able to bypass phase 1 if it can certify that it has completed the testing and feasibility studies required under phase 1? And I will ask for any of the other agencies to respond to that question. Mr. James.
Yes, I already had a whole good answer for the last question, but I had a great answer for the last question, but I'll work on this one too. I think that our program would probably not adopt this idea of awarding a phase 2 without a phase 1. I just see a lot of difficulty. I don't see how we would work it out.
Okay. Do you have any comments for that question?
I would agree with Larry James in energy, because we have a external peer review mechanism for reviewing incoming phase 1 proposals, which is very rigorous, and it somewhat relates to the first question in the sense that we have a SBR advisory committee, which is external advisory committee, which has been looking at our program over almost more than a decade. One of the items they pointed out is the whole purpose of our SBR firms, if all they have done research and they have not commercialized and grown, it does not serve the purpose. So in order for SBR proposal to come in front, they need to have a not only high research quality, but a high commercial potential ability. So one of the points they recommended, which we included in our SBR evaluation, is in addition to having external technical reviewers, we have included in the last several years external, what I would call commercial reviewers. So the point being, the rigor that we give would be difficult to evaluate from outside.
In looking at how can we strengthen the SBIR program, we have to answer the question about the valley of death that Ms. Goodnight made reference to. So it is critical that we see more research make it from the lab to the marketplace. Would a phase 3 grant aimed specifically at commercialization help more small firms bridge this gap? Ms. Goodnight, Mr. Cosciuto, you made reference to that issue.
So I think any additional resources, whether they're called phase 3 or phase 2 or phase 2B, are definitely critical in helping these companies bridge that gap. Because they get to a stage, at least for our companies, where the phase 1 and the phase 2 is only so much to put them on this pier. And they often have not progressed far enough to attract the additional investments that they need.
Any other Dr. Narayan.
I think I mentioned in my testimony on the phase 2B mechanisms that we are using currently to incentivize existing phase 2 grants to move towards the phase 3. But one of the observations we have made is the ability to commercialize. The examples I gave, for example, in the agriculture area, sometimes it takes almost a decade or before it goes through all the approvals, etc. And on the IT area, it may be very fast. So even in the phase 2B, we try to do it within the timeline of this 2 years of the phase 2 grant. But not all technologies are able to bring this third-party commitment within the 2 years. So that puts some technologies in a bind, which may have leveraged this. So I'm answering not that we need a more phase 3 special funding, some mechanism that we could use this phase 2B beyond the 2 years. Right now, once it's done, we can't go back.
Okay. Mr. Brown, when Administrator Preston last testified before our committee on SBIR in March 2008, I asked him whether the SBA supported increasing the amount of SBIR awards. He responded that SBA was supportive of an increase and that the administration has been working in-house on a rule to address that. Is SBA still planning on issuing a rule that will increase the size of SBIR grants? Are there any other regulatory changes that you envision in the coming year?
Yeah. Madam Chairwoman, in follow-up to your question and in follow-up to the testimony of former Administrator Preston, yes, SBA has looked at the issue. However, again, similar to my response to the earlier question, the current administration is looking that over, and again, once they have a chance to evaluate it, we will be reporting.
I look forward to discussing it with the administrator.
Okay.
And now I yield to Mr.